Hello guys, welcome to my space. Welcome to the Agenda Digital Hub. In this particular video, we want to look at types of fonts and how to use them appropriately. Fonts are very important. When you are making a design, your choices of fonts, how you apply them, they are very important. You cannot just stand up, use any kind of font anyhow for any design. So in this video, we are going to learn right and apply well. So I'll just open my Pixel app and then I'll show you the types of fonts and then their uses. So this is my Pixel app. I'll bring a text and then I'll show you the types for you to see. Alright, so I'm just going to pick a text and then we look at the types. So the first type we are going to look at is serif. Serif kinds of font. So this is the spelling of the serif. And then let me pick one serif font and use it as an example. So we have this font called Castellon. Yes, this font is a type of serif font. One thing that is typical about serif font is that their edges are sharp. Getting to the end of the text, you realize that their edges are sharp. They are not regular or they are not even. That is what is so typical about a serif font. Let me pick another example for you to see. Let me pick another one. So this font is also a serif kind of font. When you look at the edge, it's not regular. Alright, so let's look at the second type and then you will see the difference. So the second type of font we have is called sans serif. Sans serif. And sans serif kind of fonts, let me pick an example first. So the normal months we have been using, Montserrat, is a kind of sans serif font, right? Montserrat, all of that. So you see, as for these ones, when you look at their edges, they are regular. Their edges are regular. Look at the end of this S and the end of this one. You can see a difference. For sans serif fonts, their edges are regular. This is what's typical about sans serif fonts. We normally use them for corporate designs or business designs. I'll tell you about their uses very soon. So number 3, we are looking at categories of fonts called script fonts. And as for script fonts, they are in the form of a signature. So we can also call them the signature fonts. So for example, this font called Brittany is a kind of script font. I'm sure you have been seeing this kind of font being used in some designs, not all. This is the kinds of fonts we call script. Do you get it? So let's look at the fourth type. Fourth type, we call them display. So display kinds of fonts. Sometimes it will confuse you with script, but don't be confused. These ones, they are kind of fancy fonts. So one example is Christmas. There is a font called Christmas. Good. So this is a kind of font we call display. They are not script fonts. Okay, script font normally they are not bold. So let me look for another typical display font. Yes, Adorable. This is also a display font. They are in a form of, they are in a fancy form. Do you get it? So these are the kind of fonts we call display. So let's look at their uses quickly, then I'll show you some few flyers. So this is serif. We normally use them for main heading of some flyers. For example, some church flyers, we will see serif font. They take the main heading, and some funeral flyers as well. We will see this kind of font. Then for sans serif font, we use them for corporate designs or let's say business designs, and then they can also take the main heading. They are bold form. Fonts have different weights. Do you get it? Some we have the extra bold, semi-bold, thin. Do you get it? So normally this kind of fonts, they are bold form. We can use them for the main heading. We use their semi-bold or their medium for the other details on the flyer. Do you get it? We will look at it shortly. Then for script fonts, sometimes we also use them for the main heading or subheading. Mostly we use them in birthday flyers. Do you get it? Even though they can be used appropriately in other flyers, but mainly In birthday flyers, they are very common. The display kind of fonts, they are used for particular occasions, special occasions, or let's say designs that are meant for kids, children. They like this kind of fancy. In designing, we are actually trying to communicate an information. So everything, every element we are putting together is actually communicating something. So for display fonts, we can use them on Christmas occasions, Easter kind of flyers. You see those kind of flyers, and flyers meant for kids. We can also use display fonts. Now let's know some few things from some flyers. So I'm just heading to my Pinterest now, and I'm going to search a church flyer. So let's go for church flyer design. Let's just pick one or two, and then we look at what I'm talking about. All right, so we're just going to pick anyone at all. Okay, so let's pick this. Now when you look at this flyer very well, the font's being used for recharge here, recharge here. You know that the edges are sharp, so that is a serif font. I'm sure you are getting me now. That is a serif font. When you look at the other details here, the font used for worship, prayer, submit, that font, the edges are actually regular, so that is a sans serif font. And when you look at the font used for convener here, convener, that is a script font. Yes, so normally the font we use for guest speaker, do you get it, host, all of that, sometimes we use the script. Do you get it? Meanwhile, in other church flyers, we can use sans serif throughout. Look at this font used for the worship. Worship is a kind of serif. Do you get it? Because the edges are not regular. I'm sure you are getting me now. Meanwhile, in others, we can also use sans serif throughout. When you look at the font used for praise and worship here, it is purely sans serif. The edges are perfectly regular. Do you get it? Meanwhile, this is a bold font. The main information we are trying to communicate should be very bold and clear. The same applies here. Act of worship here is a sans serif font. So I hope you get a difference between serif and sans serif. Now let's search a birthday kind of flyer, or let's go for a corporate design or business flyer. Business flyer design. Yes. So when you pick a typical business flyer, you hardly see a serif font. We mainly use sans serif, the ones that their edges are regular. Do you get it? But in different weights. You can see this is a bold font. This can be a different, it can actually be a different sans serif, or the bold or semi-bold form of the same font. Do you get it? Yes. So mainly when you see corporate designs or what we call business flyers, we use fonts that their edges are regular. Do you get it? And we call them sans serif. I'm sure you are getting me. So now let's go to a birthday flyer design. Let's just pick a few things from here. Now if you look at the font used for Abigail here in this birthday flyer, the font used here is a script font. Hope you are getting me now. That is a script font. And then this happy birthday here, the edges are regular, so of course, can you guess? Yes, that is a sans serif font. And the one used for the happy birthday to you, princess, may God grant you the other details, that is also a sans serif. I'm sure you are getting me now. Yes. So the font used for unwillingly here is actually a script font. Some display fonts can also be used as well for birthday flyers, just that they are not common. For example, this birthday here is a display font. You get it? It's a display font. So I'm sure you've gotten how fonts are being used differently. We don't just stand up and use any kind of font for any flyer at all. Do you get it? Now these are the rules. Pay attention to these rules. Number one, don't use more than 3 fonts on one design. We don't do that. Your design is going to look so awful. Don't use more than 3 fonts. Maximum 3 fonts. Meanwhile, you can also use only 2 fonts perfectly on a design, depending on how you use it in different weight. Do you get it? And one thing I'll add is that anytime you are using font, make sure you apply the principle of balance. The fonts, all your fonts should not have the same weight throughout. Do you get it? They'll be competing. So let's pick a typical church flyer, and then we'll look at how balance has been applied. Good. Let's pick this. Now, when you look at this, Christ Crusade, okay, you can see that that font is bold, and that's the main thing we are trying to communicate here. Do you get it? Now, the theme is beneath it. It's also bold, but different color, so that it can be a difference between the program and the theme. Do you get it? So, when we are talking about balance here, the font should not have the same weight. If you check the fonts used to write also ministering here, and the ones used to write the names of the ministers, you can see that they are different in weight. One is bolder than the other. You have to balance your fonts in that way so that they don't compete on your flyer. People, if they want to use font, they go ahead, use the same bold here and bold here as well. Your design is going to look awful. It's not going to look attractive at all. Do you get it? Look at this flyer here. Very nice balance applied here. Dominion Sunday. And look at the other detail. They are not competing with this. And the time 8 o'clock a.m. is also bold and separate. So that is how you apply the principle of balance when you are using fonts. Do you get it? So these are the few things you need to know about font. Okay, let's pick a business flyer. Let's say an apparel design. Let's just look at the balance one more time. Meanwhile, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you've learned from this video, how this video has been of help to you. So when you look at this flyer, good. If you look at corporate apparel designs, okay, I mean clothes, design for clothes, other wear, shoes, and all of that, we normally use this kind of font for the main heading. We have fashion fonts. So right from here, go and search 10 best fashion fonts. They belong to serif because their edges are kind of sharp. Do you get it? And then for the other details, we use sans serif. Their edges are regular. Then look at the bottom here. Look at how they've applied balance nicely. Okay, for enquiries, you can see that that font is not bold, but the number is bold, so that there can be a form of what? Balance. Location is not bold, then Poquasic is bold. So this is how we can apply what? Balance. Your font shouldn't have the same weight. It shouldn't have the same weight throughout your design. It's not going to look professional. Guys, I'm sure this video has been of a great help to you. Meanwhile, fonts are in different weights. I told you already. Some can be tall depending on the kind of flyer you are making, if you needed to go for that. Some are bold, semi-bold, and thin. Make sure that you balance your weight throughout your flyer when you are using fonts. So make sure from here, go and search 10 best serif fonts mostly used by designers, 10 best sans serif fonts mostly used by designers. Do same for scripts and do same for display. Get them down, and your designs are ready to look so stunning and professional. Until we meet again, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like the video, comment, and share to your friends. Any designer you know somewhere might need this video very well, make sure you share with them. We'll meet again in another video. Bye.